guys, welcome to HKC 217 podcast powered by All Seasons Energy. This episode is sponsored by the Sword Playing Card Company. Do you want to say a bit about them?
Yeah, so the Sword Playing Card Company are a custom card making company for playing cards. Their cards are inspired by samurai warriors, and John, who is the owner of the Sword Playing Card Company, he is this Patreon sponsor, a diamond Patreon sponsor actually. He's come to a lot of races to watch Hudson racing, and it's been really good having John showing support, not only via Patreon but actually in person as well. I think John equally enjoyed this opening round, which we'll go into now. So this week's episode,
we're going to be talking about the OMG British Mini Bikes Round 1, which was held at Teesside.
We are going to go through all the results of every single class of racing, which will cover the JSM 90, Mini GP 110, Mini GP 17 inch, JSM 140, Mini GP 160, Mini Bike 140, Super Mini, Mini Bike 190, Mini Bike 160 and Vets. A little disclaimer here that some of the classes are not separated through on the results, but we've got the majority of the results and definitely the overall standing on the overall class of most of the results. But firstly, what we'll do, we'll cover what happened that weekend really at Teesside. So what was it like, as we often do this straight off the cuff, what were your opening weekend like at Teesside at the British Mini Bikes?
We're alright, to be honest. I was going there, I'd say I was a bit nervous, to be honest. Just thinking who I'm going to be competing against and how the bike's going to feel compared to last year and the changes.
What bikes were you racing?
Racing 110 and the 160. Interesting to feel the 160 on a open track. If you can remember first session when I went out on it, I was like, wow, the power of this is like crazy.
So this bike we got about 3 weeks ago probably. It was actually your first time going out on a big track on that bike. It weren't the first time you rode the bike because you'd been doing a bit of training on it, but it was the first time you'd been on that bike. And yeah, like your reaction when you come in, you were like, wowzers.
Yeah, it was good. Like coming down back straight, when I first come in, I was like, it feels like it's got 5 gears. You're coming down back straight, you flick 2 gears instead of 1 when I first went out in practice. That's not the right gearing though. But I was like going down back straight and it just kept on pulling. I'm coming into flip-flop, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it's like really fast.
So we had a lot of settings to dial in on that 160. We had a few engine problems with the 110 as well, which kind of scuppered a little bit on the 110 on Friday. You only didn't really get out on it until in the afternoon on Friday practice. Bit of a downer on Friday, but
dealt with it. It weren't a very good day, to be honest.
They changed the layout of the track, so the track weren't in ideal conditions, which I might as well touch on now. So on the Friday, they did nearly the same layout as previous years. They got rid of one bus stop chicane. Is it a chicane?
Yeah, like a bus stop. Yeah, that's right.
So they got rid of a bus stop on the back straight, which I think the concrete the tarmac wasn't in very good condition.
Yeah, I went on the track. I went on a track walk and it was like really. I had like potholes
on that bus stop.
On that bus stop. We went on it.
So they cut that out when you went in. I call it like the South Bank corner. I don't know why I call it that. Right in the corner, which is like a banked IndyCar corner. But the track, as it was the year before, and Hudson commented on this last year, the track was even rougher this year. Majorly bumpy. A lot of settings to dial in. Pretty much everybody was struggling with it, but again, everybody had to deal with it. So Friday, bit of a rough day. Lap times were way off the pace.
Yeah, compared to everyone else.
Live timing weren't on, but we caught wind of a few lap times in the 110 and kind of thought, oof, you're struggling here big time. But you only got out on that bike in the afternoon.
I only got out on that bike, not a lot that day, but I were on the 160 nearly all day and we were trying to dial that in.
It were rough on the 160 as well.
Super, like especially rough on the 160. Don't know if it was just the speed of it, just the initial settings when we got the bike standard.
We tried to dial it in.
Change fork weights and everything.
Yeah, we changed a lot of things. It made a big difference on Saturday. So again, massive shout out to Simon. He got the 110 bike sorted, so you could go out on that.
Yeah.
And kind of at the end of Friday, which I think kind of worked, was Friday's done. Forget it. Don't matter that it might have been a bad day. It was very difficult to, even when both bikes was running, which we're kind of learning here a little bit, that both bikes was running and he's coming in on the 110 and the next session was the 160 session. So no time to debrief. no time to say, oh, let's change that for this 110, and then he'd come in, he'd have two amounts of information to roll in. So that was obviously difficult. Well, it were difficult because it did make a difference on Saturday when you had time in between. Even just one session in between practice or racing, it makes a big difference that you can have a debrief, have a sit down, let's have a little chat. What do you think of this? Shall we change this? Shall we change that? There's like a lot of things that we learned from Spain that kind of definitely helped. And again, wiping the slate clean. Massive shout out to Andy Thompson as well. He went out of his way. You could see that Hudson was struggling on the Friday. Took Hudson on a good track walk. Who did you go with?
Daniel Stevenson.
On the Friday?
On the Friday, yeah.
So yeah, massive shout out to Andy. He just did that on his own bike, really. You could see that Hudson was struggling.
It was good, that, yeah. I learnt a lot from it, to be honest. He said, like, ride it. He said into, like, the second corner, ride it like a motocross bike. So you come in, and then on your, like, heavy braking, your back end, jump
that were your main tip.
Main tip, yeah, to be honest. Like, stand up on your pegs and let the bike move about underneath you, but you're stopping still. So we're coming into that first corner, and if you sat on the seat, it like, kind of, like, bunny hops you, like, you off your seat. So you have to like stand up coming in, and then in the middle like of the apex, there's like a massive like dip, and then it comes back up again. And as you're going through there, it's like whoa, and you have to like stand up on your pegs, like to ride it out.
So yeah, again, massive thanks to Andy. And I realised like how bumpy it was. So that was Friday, and again, just reset. Hudson were down a little bit. I was like, listen, it's done. I think we needed that, didn't we? We had a little bit of look at the data. Knew what he did last year. That were a big part of it. Like, let's look at what you did last year. Even though the track was different, you could separate the track. And we were saying, listen, this is what you're doing now. This is what you did today. Even though Friday were a bit of a rough day.
How much were I losing, like, first sector from start finish to the back straight? How much were I?
You were losing 4 seconds from the start finish line to where you go into the flip flop on the back straight. Which I was like, even if you get that ironed out, it'll be a big difference to your lap time. So kind of focused on that. Another little shout out to Aaron Parker as well. Aaron kind of said, especially that, where Aaron come past and had a little chat. I think he might have seen that Hudson was struggling a little bit, and we had a little chat outside. And similar sort of situation, like we just reset, it's done. Let's focus on try and do the positives, and let's focus on a sector and let's improve on that sector. So another shout out for Aaron who helped out there. We reset Friday, woke up Saturday morning. No negative vibes. Let's go again. So on the Saturday now as well, it's two warm-ups.
Two warm-ups.
Qualifying in the afternoon, then a sprint race in late afternoon. Not a lot of time to iron things out on Saturday, but I didn't dampen that mood. You had to jump straight in there, really, didn't you?
Yeah.
But immediately when you did go out on that warm-up on Saturday, as we pull up a little bit of stats there, you went out. Got the fastest lap in the warm-up. Again, it was warm-up, but still, little goals. Give him a big boost in confidence. So you had a warm-up on each bike, and then we rolled into qualifying. So we'll go to qualifying. So qualifying were in the afternoon. Qualifying, I was doing your pit board. Kind of went backwards and forwards quite a little lot. So there was nothing in between all three of you, were there, really?
Yeah, I think in qualifying, I was in front of Parker. Yeah, so in qualifying, I was in front of Parker. And I was like third all the way through. I'm like, oh my gosh, Parker's behind me. I knew he was behind me. And I was like, how's he pulling out these lap times and still stopping behind me? And then I managed to get into second. And then it moved, pushed him back into third.
Pushed him back into third. So did you not swap places and then you did your fastest lap after that?
No. So I was in front of Parker from the beginning. I did.
Well, you did your fastest lap on lap 6, look.
I did fastest lap on lap 6.
And Parker did his behind you on lap 3.
And then I did...
Did you swap places?
And then I did like 2 more laps after that. And then I was like, right, I'm going to let Parker pass and see what lines he's doing. And like looks at his lines and stuff, a bit more open lines.
And chased him down a bit
Chased him down a bit. I think I were a bit faster than Parker, so I couldn't really get a good lap in. And I knew we were in second anyway.
Yeah, we're we're talking about fractions here, but yeah. So Parker did his fastest lap on lap 3, and Hudson swap positions tactically again, like quite smart thinking a little bit. It does help when you've got somebody fast in front of you. I'm not saying Hudson's fastest kid in the world, but when you've got following somebody like Parker or Valentino, let's say for instance, and know that they're one of the top up fastest riders in the class, it helps.
Yeah.
Certainly helps.
And between me and Valentino, so I were in second and Valentino's in first, they were half second.
Yeah, so
Valentino
got pole.
And me.
Yeah, so Valentino got pole with a 107.1 lap. Hudson got second position with a 107.6, so that were 0.04. And then Parker got third position with a 107.9, which were 0.7 seconds behind Valentino's pole time. So like really close between them. Rounding that up, we've got Leo Harvey, Joshua Caden, Max Robinson and Oliver Pritchard to complete that grid. So positive, like, well, you were happy with that, weren't you, really?
Yeah,
like,
happy
we're front
with
row.
That. Front row.
On the right.
On the right, which I liked.
Yeah, that's so they actually narrowed down the start finish straight. So Teesside, normally on the normal layout, it's what I think it's the only track that is 3 abreast.
Yeah.
For the whole season. So like if you're in third position, you're actually on the front row. Obviously your bike.
Yeah, but
you're on the front row. In fact, you've started in third, I think, before. You've certainly started in second before.
I've started in second last year. I've started in third before as well.
So yeah, so that were a positive qualifying, and then we'll go over to the 160 qualifying. You qualified on the 160, and again taking positive vibes from the other one. So Tyler Humphries got pole position with 104. Wilson Dilt's got 104.6 for Tyler. Wilson got 104.7, so 1.058 of a second behind him. Thorley got third position. Arnie got fourth with 105. Valentino got fifth with 106, and Hudson did a 107.9 to start in sixth position for the sprint race. So the sprint race is a shorter race, starting from P2. Remembering the sprint race, you shot straight into P1 before the first corner. You led for 2 laps. As you went past me on lap 1, Valentino were bang behind you, and I didn't give you a pit board because Valentino, I thought you must be able to hear Valentino, so why am I giving you a pit board to say? But you actually like gestured to me like, where's my pit board, Dad? As you come round again, and I were already thinking this, I thought I don't want to give him a pit board because he's going to look at pit board and Valentino's going to be bang behind him and he's probably going to look round for him. And Hudson come round for lap 2, I showed him the pit board, 0.1, and lo and behold, he looked straight behind him. He looked to his right.
Looked to my right, and
Valentino come straight past him.
Straight past me on the left. I remember, looked to my right, and then I didn't see him. I'm like, oh, where's he gone? And I'll sit back up and tuck back in, and then he comes straight past my left.
Yeah, maybe that aerodynamic slowed you down as well. So exactly what I predicted.
It's all your fault.
Exactly what I thought would happen happened. Your gesture, I could tell with your body mannerisms, let's say, that you were like, why are you not giving me a pit board, Dad?
Like, what's happened? Is it come off?
Did your marker pen run out? You just thought, like, where's my pit board?
Yeah.
So we did that. You stayed behind Valentino.
Did one lap. I can remember like one lap. You went like that. You didn't use your pit board. You went like that.
Yeah. Well.
You went like that, and then you use your pit board, and then you went like that.
Well, I might as well just use my hands when it's that close. What do you know what 0.1 or 0.2 looks like? I make up these times as you go around, by the way.
No, you don't.
Make you go faster and slower.
No,
So you were sat in second position, bang behind Valentino, and bang behind Hudson. Even when you were in second, obviously, then I started to pit board where Parker was. You could see Valentino in front of him, and literally they were wheel to wheel for the whole race, I believe. Yeah, is that right?
Yeah.
So there were Valentino, Hudson, and Parker. And you crossed the line. This is the sprint race results, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. So Valentino. So this was 10 laps straight, wheel to wheel racing. Some of the best racing that I've seen, really. Hudson was in second, but it was an absolutely fantastic race. Valentino never put a foot wrong. If you can remember, actually, during the race, that Valentino actually creeped away a little bit from you and Parker. So you and Parker were together. So Valentino were, I don't know, maybe a second up the road. It were a biggish gap, like 5 or 6 bike lengths. And then towards like lap probably 7, 8 and 9, Hudson and Parker closed massively back up on Valentino to the point that where they crossed the line, Valentino won. Valentino crossed the line. Hudson was 0.2 behind him, and then Parker was 0.3 behind you. So you're crossed over the line like with just over half a second between all three of you, basically.
Wow.
Which were wicked. Fantastic race, wasn't it?
Yeah, good race.
Kind of like actually got a little bit of fire back in you, thinking, yeah, that was good. Move over to race 2. So another thing that's new for this year in the BMB is that Hudson actually got the fastest lap on lap 7.
Yeah.
So this is probably when you were closing down Valentino. Valentino did his fastest lap on lap 6. So you were only 100th of a second faster than Valentino, but you got the fastest lap in the race. And then we'll go race 2. Oh yeah, so another thing that they've reintroduced, wherever you finish in race 1, that's where you start in race 2. So didn't really make a difference for Hudson because he were in P2 in race 1, so he started in P2 in race 2. Yeah, that's
Race
right,
2,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Valentino on pole, Hudson in second, Parker in third. Superstar, I think this one is where like you wheeled. I think Mum's got that video.
Into race 3. Do you know what it were? Because Simon sorted out the engine, the clutch biting point was different. When I let it go, I tried to control it and it didn't go, so I just dropped it and he went, wah.
It were a good one. So yeah, you got straight into first position just before you dipped into first corner in the lead. And then on lap 2, if you can remember you telling me, you were trying a different line round that South Bank corner.
Yeah, trying a different line round that South Bank corner because I seen Valentino in race 1. He was taking a wider line and cutting it back and like squaring it off and getting a good drive out. And on the entry, I was closing him in with me on the tight line and him being on the outside line. But on the exit, he went like really far.
Slung round a little bit.
So like slung in like slingshot.
I think there's a little bit of a layer of tarmac we were discussing because we noticed this, didn't we? That we were saying, I wonder if it's like a little bit smoother around there. You can get a little bit more IndyCar action.
It is definitely a lot more smoother, but
it's a little bit further to travel though.
Further to travel round the corner, and towards the end of the weekend, we were like right on the inside and just riding out the bumps. Like I said, on the second corner, you just kind of like stand up on the entry. But towards like the end of the corner, you cut it like really close back and your tyre would be like a metre. Yeah. Not a metre, but like a foot off the line.
My point were, as you were trying like that little bit of a wider line, Valentino would bang behind you, so he actually straight on inside here, like kind of where you used to while you were racing in race 1, and he actually undertook you and got into first position. So then you sat behind him.
And then it came to the final lap, and I had plan A and plan B in my head. Coming down into the second corner, coming around the first corner, I could like nearly keep it pinned. So I'd like come right up the side of him, tried to overtake him there. It failed. I couldn't get up the side of him. He like kind of cut me off racing.
Close the door on you?
Yeah, close the door on me.
Were you outside of
him? Yeah, right inside of him. So I had the right line, but I just didn't get a bit like further enough for me to like do the move. And then I was like, right, plan B now. So I was coming onto back straight, and because he like
up through the mountain
up through mountain bit, and I was like 2 meters behind him, 1 meter behind him, because I lost the drive out of that corner because I had to go really tight to try and make the move. So I was quite far behind, and then I was like, I'm gonna have to slipstream him on this straight. And it was like my only chance, and I didn't have another chance on like the track. Came onto back straight, got a really, really good exit, and just tucked in and hoped for the best. And I went down, got a really good slipstream, pulled to the right hand side of him, and just flew past him into flip flop.
Could you feel slipstream?
Yeah, definitely. And I went in, overtook him, like got really close, and then just pulled out of his slipstream and just like kind of just went past him into flip flop, got the right line. Right hand side, and he couldn't turn in on me. I just went straight through, and then for the rest of the lap just took a defensive line, and then he didn't get past me.
Yeah, he was bang behind you. I
just won.
Again, this is the last lap. This so like super dramatic.
All kids.
I could hear up on the banking, like I was sat on the tyre wall down in front of the control tower. Could see Hudson obviously go past the start finish. I could see him tipping to go into corner 2, let's say, like down the hill.
Yeah.
So I could see Hudson there. Then the next time Hudson would appear would be round the back. I thought Hudson had took him on that bit there because like a lot of people like shouted up on banking like what? Oh yeah. Like it were kind of weird. So I kind of seen that you looked like you took a little bit of a different line down towards that corner. So you must have, obviously, what you're talking about, you did attempt on that bit.
Yeah.
And then the next time you appeared, I don't know if you appeared in front of him or you just must have been overtaking him as you appeared back to everybody, and like everybody like cheered. And then I could definitely see when you're on the flip flop into like the S's and down to the back straight hairpin, let's call it. You were in front then, and yeah, a little bit defensive. Well, not majorly defensive.
Not majorly defensive.
But he were on you.
He were on me, yeah. I
thought,
knew he was there.
I thought you were gonna do like
what he did last time.
Well, yeah. I thought, well, he definitely had a better exit around that bit.
Yeah, and I definitely, that final lap, I was like, I need to take a tight line through here. I just need to ride out these bumps as best as I can.
Yeah, making her out outside. Because I was thinking on that last corner, I thought, if you take where he's took, where you haven't been doing it all lap again, he's just going to come straight up inside here and then you'll be done. But you didn't. I think you like hugged. You took your line that you did, a bit bumpy.
Really bumpy on that final. I'm surprised I didn't even come off. I was like, I had a massive wobble coming into it. And then just got a really good exit out of it and just went to finish line.
Yeah, so super good. Everybody cheering on the banking. Pretty epic moment, really. So, like, we've got a bit of video of that we'll put up on his socials. So, we've got everybody on banking all cheering, everybody applauding. I mean, it was, like, pretty epic. Hudson coming into the paddock area, like, all kids, like, run down. And met Hudson as he got into the paddock, like, got a massive cheer, probably the best cheer I've ever heard you ever get.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Yeah, it was good. It were good.
So, like nearly all kids with it were mint, absolutely mint. So I just run up.
I can remember on my start as well, Thorley was stood, because you got, like, the hanger that goes over the start grid. Thorley was stood next to, like, the base of the hanger. And he was like biting his fingernails. He was like giving me a thumbs up. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Don't be looking at that. Don't be distracted.
I weren't, because they were sorting out people, like, something happened, like, back there. So I was like,
I think there were somebody's engine stalled.
Somebody's engine stalled or something. I was like,
look. Focusing there, not looking at forward.
No, I just like seen it corner of my eye, and he was just like giving me a thumbs up, and I just like nodded at him, and he was just like, he looked really nervous. Like, extremely nervous. I'm like, calm down, it's not you racing.
Super start.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was race 2. But yeah, it was pretty epic, that one. So then we're rolling to race 3. I believe you got the whole shot again on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously this date is not the right date. So what happened on race 3? Yeah, did you get into lead?
Yeah, just
got into lead. Valentino overtook you.
Yeah, Valentino. Yeah, got into lead. Valentino overtook me. And then
Parker overtook you.
And then coming into the second corner, I was gonna overtake Valentino where I were on about in race 2. I was gonna overtake him there. Didn't overtake him. Then Parker came up the inside of me.
Wow.
Clean move, to be honest.
Whereabouts was this?
Second corner.
Third corner. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
like down towards bottom.
Down towards bottom. Yeah.
Down the hill. Round Nuts corner.
What? Yeah.
He overtook you there.
Overtook me there.
Was it mega bumpy down there?
Came up. Yeah. That's where Andy were on about. That's what I ran about earlier, where it's like got a massive dip on apex. Yeah, massive.
Wow.
Parker came up the inside of me there, and then I think were it on the same lap that it happened, or was it?
I don't know if it was the same lap. No, I think you carried on for a little bit because you come across that back marker, didn't you? So you must have done a few more laps like that because you'd obviously come. It weren't like third lap because you come across that. You come across the back marker. So yeah, coming into the back straight. Yeah, you were coming into that flip flop area. And the back marker like met Valentino in that back marker area. In the middle of the this is like fastest part of the track probably.
Yeah. And came in, Valentino, bear in mind rolling a 3 here. Valentino braked hard. Then Parker seen Valentino braking and slant brakes on. And then I hit the brakes and my back I did like an endo and my back end like curled round, and then it gripped and spit, like chucked me into the ground. Did a couple of rolls. When I was rolling, I'm like, when am I going to hit this tie wall? Tie wall, and I didn't hit the tie wall. But I got up, bikes everywhere. I got up and like all 3 of us had come off. I was like, wow.
So I like run across to Hudson. One rule that Hudson immediately remembered, which we've not even discussed this weekend, but he knows the rules, is that Hudson thought, I can get back on bike, can't I? I'm like, yeah, are you all right? And they were like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm like, is bike all right? You're like, yeah. So We looked at the bike. Massive shout out to Paul Robinson,
Yeah.
who we met out in Spain. He were like looking over the bike. He heard mine and Hudson's and my conversation about restarting. We checked over like all the bike, checked everything were all right. At this point as well, obviously Parker and Valentino getting tended to on the floor. They were both okay. Luckily, again, it were a nice big crash. I asked Hudson again, like, do you want to restart? He's like, yeah, I want to restart. So we sent him round to the start of the grid. I just said to Hudson, just bring it home. Like, you don't have to go balls out. Just bring it home if you can. Not amazing laps, but like kind of like Harvey had a little bit of a look at you
on a really bumpy track.
Really bumpy track. You said it were really rough, but yeah, you took it home there. So like,
yeah. First couple of laps though, I was taking it steady, and then I was like, oh yeah, it's all right now.
Yeah, so
just kind of pushed on.
So that took Hudson to get the overall one. And again, all the results aren't actually shown on here, so we'll move on to all the results. You got your first podium in the 160?
Yeah, first podium in
race 2, weren't it?
Race 2, yeah, race 2, and yeah, race 2.
With the Mini GP 160 class, Hudson got his first Ohvale 160 podium. Fantastic.
Still like struggling with the suspension. But we'll just kind of dial it in still.
No, unfortunately, like that kind of comes as a bit of a de facto. I don't want to take away the fact that Hudson got his first podium on the 161, but Tyler, that were a carb. Carb. Yeah, so
Tyler had kind of
bit of a nightmare weekend.
Nightmare race.
So that one, and that's been real about the situation. Like,
yeah,
Tyler DNF'd, which bumped Hudson up in the Ohvale 160 class standing, so he got his first 160 Ohvale Cup podium. We'll roll through all the results now, so we'll go through the overall points for each race, and we'll touch on if we can see the information on who won what race. So we'll go to SM90 class. So in third position was
William Dickinson.
Max Robinson got a second, and a little rider that we know very well, Caden Herring, flying the flag for his brother, who's just moved up into the 110 and 160 class. He won all 3 races, so I think that's Caden's first JSM 90 win as well. Nice strong grid on that one as well. That was good to see. There were them 3 brothers. Can we see them 3 brothers there?
Charlie, Tommy, and William. Look, William.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
William came third.
So like 3 brothers all on 1010 bikes, which is a bike that Hudson had.
Yeah.
So that were a good race to watch. That. Congratulations to that. Obviously we've touched over the 110, but we'll talk about the overall 110 results. So overall in the 110 class, Hudson come first, Harvey Saville comes second, Valentino come third in the 110 open class. We haven't got the 110 Cup, Ohvale Cup standings there. We'll go to the Mini GP 17-inch and JSM 140. So this is a new class that's just been introduced, and I think Arnie was on a 17-inch Suzuki GSXR 125, I think it were.
Yeah.
And Harvey Saville were on his JSM 140, and I believe Owen Tempest and George Wood was on there. But congratulations to Harvey, Arnie and Owen Tempest, because I don't know who was particularly on which bike. We'll go to the Mini GP 160. We'll go to overall on this one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So overall in the Open 160 class, it were Wilson Dilts, Arnie Carr and Thorley Trevorrow in first, second and third. Hudson comes 7th overall, but there's a bit of discrepancy on
the third race.
On the third race, we don't even know what happened on that. That's why I put an asterisk on that. That's the one where Hudson got his first podium in the Ohvale 160 Cup.
Yeah.
Again, the results by class aren't showing on here, so you can't really definitively say who was on what bike on that one. But yeah, good race on that one there. Parker did really well on that one actually, didn't he? Where's Parker? So Parker come 5th overall.
5th. Yeah.
So that was really good. Mini bike 140. Again, apologies if we're not separating this by class because we can't see by class on this. So this is Mini bike 140. So I do actually believe this is all one class anyway. This one, because it doesn't say 2 names of 2 different things. But in third position was Liam Wood. In second position was Ben Lord, and in first position was Michael Mead. we'll go to 160 vets first. Oh, this was nice to see as well. So, and again, apologies if this is a separate class and I'm just combining the overall standings, but it's not been separated on the Speed Dive app.
Yeah.
So in third position was Matt Davis. In second position was James Mostica. Now you were on a Butcher.
We're on a Butcher, yeah.
We don't know if it's in the same race or what. And Tommy Fielding come in first position. So good to see James back. One of the first people who were like talked to at racing, James, wasn't it?
And then we got the Super Mini
and Mini
bike.
Jeep. So this is a separate one. I think this one is actually being separated. So this one was a Super Mini and Mini Bike 160. So this one has been separated correctly. So in the Super Mini class, James Mostica come in third position. Andrea Toddia. That's that guy who was behind us at Red Lodge. I'm sure it is. And he had a Husky. They've all got Super Minis. A few of them.
Yeah.
I think he's got a Husky Super Mini. I've seen one of them.
Husky or something. I seen him this weekend.
And in first position was Lawrence Wardle. And then we go to the Mini Bike Open. Again, apologies if this is wrong, but I'm not sure. It says Mini Bike Open. In third position, Paul Baxter. In second position, Michael Mead. And in first position is Aaron Sadler. And then we'll go to the Mini GP 190, which is, I don't know if that's Butchers as well. I presume it is. It's not saying Ohvale. So in third position, Izzy Carter. In second position, Tim Patterson. And in first position, Andrew Thompson. So that's pretty much job done.
Yeah. We said it were going to be quick.
Yeah, we said it were going to be quick, but yeah, we covered the results there, and I hope everybody's happy with that. Like I say, the MyLapse thing is not
entirely precise.
And to be fair, like the MyLapse thing, the results have only just come up in this form today, so it takes a look. Like I think they have to get finalised or checked with the lap data. I think, and have to get separated by Alan after. You know, like separating by class. Yeah. So I believe like there will be in the next couple of days. You'll click into the Mini GP 160 and it'll say Ohvale 160 and it'll say Mini GP 160 and it'll say Open 110 and Ohvale 110 as well. So yeah, fantastic weekend despite a rough start.
Rough start, but
really nice touch that we've got like plaque boards there, so you might be able to see 3 of the plaque boards. So they've got 6 of them. Plaque boards for the Mini GP Open and the Ohvale ones, because you've got 3 podiums in 2 different classes on that one, and you've got 1 Ohvale 160 third place coming, maybe 2, who knows?
Don't know. But yeah, nice to have them plaques back. They stopped them.
Well, we've got the other ones. You might be able to just see them above. So
in the trophy,
just above here, there's like the metal ones last year. So these are like acrylic. In fact, that's what they are.
Yeah.
Acrylic ones, actually done by one of the
BMB officials.
BMB officials. I forgot his name now. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I didn't actually know until he mentioned it that he actually did all the metal ones last year as well.
Yeah.
So they're fantastic. So yeah, looking forward to the next round. We're off to Lyd. Hopefully the temperature's going to go up. Normally we've been to Lyd. I don't think we went there last year.
We didn't go there last year, but the year before it were absolutely scorchio.
Yeah, we actually went to South, and we went the year before that when we went to the coast in COVID. When all the ships, if you can remember, all the cruise ships were moored up in a row off the coastline, which were a really strange sight. If you can remember that.
Yeah.
We were on the beach
on
there.
that rocky beach, weren't it?
Yeah. So yeah, we do normally go there in the summer, but it's not in the summer this year. Was that at Canberra Sands, that one, or is that a different one?
No, that's a different one. No.
Is it?
Anyway, don't matter whereabouts it is.
Anyway, yeah, so we're looking forward to that next round. Reset and go again.
Yeah.
Good start to the season.
Good start, yeah.
Good to be back racing.
Good to be back, yeah. Yeah, and just generally be back racing.
Good to see all his mates.
All his mates, yeah, were good.
Nice-ish weather.
It was very nice, to be honest, to say.
Saturday were nicer, weren't it?
Saturday,
were nice. Ideal racing weather, not too hot.
Saturday were hottest. Saturday were nice. I'd say Saturday were best.
Perfect weather?
Perfect, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, good first weekend, good to be back racing. Bit of shock to the system, super tired.
Yeah.
Glad we had Easter Monday off.
Yeah.
Hudson's glad he's off school. He says that he's aching today, and this is like a couple of days after.
Yeah.
So we shall finish up on. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can watch this video on YouTube. If you're listening to this, you're listening via your podcast app. Please leave a review and subscribe if you can. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like and please hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to follow Hudson on all his socials, which is
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. That it?
Yeah, and you have to follow you at
HKC217.
That's not actually a username. That's like a hashtag. But
Hashtag.
yeah, if you search for
HKC217,
you'll see his page. His actual username is at Hudson Kai Cooper. Pretty much everywhere. So if you can like and follow on all his socials, really appreciate it. Massive shout out to all Hudson sponsors, All Seasons, Gaslight Industries, Daniela, AMB. I mean, the list goes on. Huge shout out to everybody to do with Patreon as well. Like, without them all, this wouldn't be possible. I mean, like, we've just been pricing up the cost of that crash, and it's a frightening amount of money what that crash has cost. We shall see you on the next pod. Hope you've enjoyed it. See you soon. Ta-ta. Bye for now.
Bye.